Afternoon. Excited to be here. Excited to be back for the season to start. The players report here this afternoon, and I do want to say something. Our fields look fantastic. We got a new field manager, Douglas. Is it Douglas Bradley? Is that correct? And man, he's done a great job with our fields. We sure are thankful for him. We got a good football team. The team's excited to be in, and I'm ready to answer any questions you may have for me.
Well, players report today, obviously, but you've seen them. What do they look like? How's the summer 8 week cycle gone, and any notable improvements?
Yeah, it's went fantastic, and I think Ben Souders is going to talk to you a little bit later here at 2:30. But he'll tell you about all the growth that we had. This is the strongest team we've had by far, leanest team we've had by far. And I just really like Trey, the camaraderie, the togetherness of the team. They're fun to be around. They're fun to, they're working. Anytime you can work and you really don't know it because you're enjoying what you do. I feel like Ben's made this the toughest summer that we've had. I felt like we did the same thing in spring ball. We're going to do the same thing in fall camp. But I don't know how you can get your depth charts right and all that if you don't do that kind of, you have to be in tough situations to understand how to handle them. And we don't want that to be on a Saturday afternoon. We want to have it in the summer, in spring ball. And now I'm going a little bit everywhere on what your question is, but to say we've had some really great strides. I think the guys that came in after spring ball are some guys we probably need to talk about at some point because I think we really hit. I think there was about 11 guys that came in, 10 or 11 after spring ball was over that I think will help us. But our numbers are way up. The guys that we brought in are some of the stronger guys on our team. And I'll let Ben kind of get specific with some of those guys in their gains.
It got 5:30, I think, the first week, or that's at least on our schedule when our availability is, and then it drops down into the mornings. What was the reason for going afternoon, late afternoon, and then morning?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I think we have acclimation. We have plenty of time, Trey, in our acclimation period to get used to the heat, weather. So I really did not want to go in the afternoon this week. However, because school's still in session, we would lose too many guys if we went in the morning. So I would rather go in the morning the whole time, obviously, moving the game up and getting into camp 2 days earlier cost us a few more days of school. So we're going to go the first four. We're going to try to keep those first four before the break exactly the same. And we went to the afternoon. Now we're going to go outside, inside. We'll start outside and come inside after our second special team period. But I'm trying to have good practices and I know it's going to be really hot. So I am concerned about that. I have the right to change that and bring some of that inside as well. But I don't think we have to worry about this 25 practice period of going, well, we got to get acclimated to the heat. We're still going to have plenty of time when school starts to do that. So the only reason we did is because school's still in session. We have too many guys that would miss practice if we went in the morning.
You say you guys are bigger. I wonder if philosophically your run game might be more of an emphasis, like you could be more physical with the run game this year.
Certainly the plan. It was that way from when we went into the portal. Bobby obviously likes to throw a lot of play action. Well, it's not any good if you can't threaten him with the run game. I like all the schematics that we're doing up front with our line, doing a lot of different, other than just running full zone type schemes. We're doing a lot of different pin and kick out, pin and pulls, And off of that, if we can run the football, which we felt like we had a good spring of physicality on both sides of the ball, then I think we can do the play action as well. So we want to get back to that physical football. It's hard to do if you don't practice that way and if you don't have quite the kids ready at their position to do that. But I feel really good um, in our two deep in all our areas that we have. We're a little thin in some places after that.
It felt like you came out of spring feeling pretty good about your linebackers, but I wonder the additions that you added, you feel feeling even better about your depth at linebacker.
Yeah, a great question. I think too, you got Stephen Dix, Larry Worth, who obviously did not go through spring ball, both very physical specimens. I mean, their numbers, I think, Trey, that'd be a good question to ask for Ben, their numbers, coming out of the summer program. I also really like the addition of Wyatt Simmons and Brad Shaw, two freshmen. Now, I don't talk about freshmen a lot, but those guys. So I think our depth at linebacker and who starts and all that's still obviously up for grabs. We don't know anything about Worth and Dix on the field other than what we saw from where they came from. But I do think that was something we had to address. And not that we don't have good players, they're just young, and so we'll figure out how that goes. We have a lot of linebackers in that room, therefore we're going to do a lot of two spotting here early, guys, because obviously we got to find out who's 2 and 3 at quarterback. Got to find out who can play at linebacker. I think, again, like I said, I think we have 10 guys that came in the April portal. And those guys, we have to get on the field to figure out if they can help us, whether that be as depth or whether that be as starters.
The message of better camaraderie and chemistry, it was evident in the spring. You just mentioned it earlier today. Was that something that you as coaches realized needed to improve, either by who you targeted in the portal or just talking to the team after they kind of got to campus and everything?
Well, I think all the culture, we start that, but it really happens by the kids. I mean, it really does, because if you look at it, we might be with them 2.5 hours a day, and there's 24 in a day, and whether they hang out with each other, how they are in the locker room, how they are, um, in their lounge, do they hang out together? I think that happens with people. And, I can say a whole bunch of them. Cam Ball's one of them. Landon Jackson's one of them. Taylon Green came in and took the team. Once he earned the starting spot, he took the team. It wasn't anything about me. It was about us, us, us. Carmona, Blackstock, Nichols, those guys are guys that are about team oriented. And if you look at our O line and our D line's camaraderie, a lot of times, you're battling, you get tired of each other. They're close, they hang out together. So I think it has a lot to do with who we get on the team, possibly who's not on the team. A lot of things go in with culture. You guys are in the workforce and you're with people and you're going, I guarantee your mind can think of that guy or that lady. You're going, man, if she wasn't here, how much different, or he wasn't here, how much different would it be? You don't have to be saying that, hey, I want to tell you who that person is right now. I'm not calling nobody out. But sometimes you get that and your culture becomes very powerful. It can become powerful either way. And right now, it is very, very strong in a positive way.
Along the offensive line in the spring, we saw, pretty much the same 5 guys running with the
Yeah.
ones. Is there going to be an emphasis this fall maybe to mix and match, or is it still very important to get those 5 guys working together as much as possible?
I think another good question. I think we have the guys in the right spot. I think we have to create a battle with Tykees Crawford. I think we are going to move him into right guard, and he's played a lot of ball there, but we're going to move him in to see if he could potentially start for us there. Now, there's nothing against Braun. We like Braun and all that, but we have to give kids opportunities to start. So if you think about it, you're going, what are you going to do with Joe Moore? You know, so Joe Moore's played a lot of ball. So what are you going? Very, very strong kid, very, very smart. What are you going to do with him? So our choice was we could either put him at right guard and keep Tyke East out there where he is, or we can move Tyke East and move Joe in it. Now we may move that combination at some point, but that's today. That's how we think we could have our best depth right there. So I think we have the guys. There's not a lot of movement that we're thinking, well, we'll move him to left tackle at some point. You always want to have at least three guards, at least three tackles, at least three centers, but that doesn't have to total nine if that's what I'm if that's what we're talking about. So I think as important of what we need to find, who are our centers that we believe that we can go win SEC games with, and you just obviously you can't just have one there. So my biggest question was who's two, who's three. Obviously Wiggins is two, but then who becomes that third center, and is he on the travel list as it is right now?
Coach, is Devin Bell, did he go on scholarship?
He
And then
did,
also,
yeah.
can you talk about the place kicking competition? I know you picked
Yeah.
up a new guy this summer.
Yeah. Devin Bell went on scholarship the same day that we had a scholarship available. I really have a lot of confidence in Devin Bell. We said all last year we had two punters that could punt for most anybody, and I really like Devin Bell. He was so grateful when he got the scholarship. As you guys know, I'm not really a flashy guy with that kind of stuff, but he was very, very happy there. You know, you have three kickers there, and you got Ramsey and Shipley and Vito, and obviously we went and got Ramsey in the April portal, and that to me, that's one of our big we have to find out, you know, and so we've got to put them in some pressure situations. And to be honest with you, we got to put them in the stadium. It's just different. And so that's going to be a battle between those three guys, and we need to find out fairly quick. You know, I think we need to find out before school starts who we think next 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, who's going to be that guy.
Vito probably gonna kick off.
Well, he could. Um, um, he certainly could. That could be a battle as well.
You don't mind having like a kickoff guy and then field goal and extra point, have two different kickers to carry.
I think if you ask Scott, he would rather it be that way, to be perfectly honest with you. Cam Little came to me last year, Otis, and he said, I want to kick off. And I said, well, hell, if you earn it, then you can. I want to do a lot of things. I want to lose some weight too, but hell. So he went out there and he earned it and did a great job. So I don't have anything against that. Obviously, whoever our best guy is, that's what we'll do. But no, I wouldn't have a problem of traveling those. I feel like what you'd like to do is that guy to be your backup. If he wins the job, at least be your backup field goal kicker.
Sam, SEC Media picked you guys 14th. Are you guys using that as a motivational thing coming?
I don't know. We haven't had our team meeting yet. We might. They picked a lot of people 14th. We might.
Sam, as a follow-up to Otis's question, you mentioned Bale going on scholarship. Is there anybody else, any other walk-ons you've put on scholarships, and how many spots maybe do you have left to
I have
fill?
one right now. I have one scholarship, and I don't know if I put another guy on. You know, put Josh Street on. Would came to my mind, but that was a year and a half ago. I can't remember. Pat, you remember anybody that I have? Devin was just as kind of a trade. You know, we we usually give 3 scholarships for for special teams. So it'd be your hold or your snapper, your punter, and your kicker. So we were trying to stay status quo with that. So once we had a punter go into the portal, we were ready to go with Devin.
And you mentioned 10 or 11 new guys coming in since the spring. How do you go about meshing those guys in? You think they've done enough over the summer to be able to fit, hit the ground running in fall camp, or is there an adjustment period? How does that go?
Yeah, you guys are on it, man. You're a really good question. Again, we're going to have, we're going to two-spot a bunch of drills, a bunch. Got 120 kids coming into camp. We've got to find out about these guys and, how there is such thing as having a good mental rep and all that, but a mental rep, we don't know what rep they got. When it's a physical, we can see it. So we're going to have to do a lot of two-spotting early. We want to. I don't think it's going to put any more burden on the kids simply because their reps are not going to change. But we're going to get a lot of looks at these guys. And that's probably the biggest concern about, coming out at 105 in the future is that that's going to eliminate some of that two spotting. It's going to eliminate some of the development of the younger guys, the development of the guys that you don't know quite as much about. That's probably the biggest concern about going to 105, that and injuries as the season goes. But right now we're at 120 and we're going to two spot a lot so we can find out who we have. We're also going to tackle a lot this fall so we can give kids opportunities to show us what they are and so we can give them opportunity to beat somebody out.
Coach, how about 5 years now for you? What's an adjustment or two maybe in your preparation for the season that you feel like maybe you didn't know 5 years ago, but you feel like it's part of what you do now?
Oh man, we got a long time to answer that question. I think we learn all the time. Um, um, I go back to some of the decisions, I think I'm just going to let my mind and my eyes see what I see and go from there. And, the one thing about it is if you're always worried about what if something happens wrong with what you decide, then you'll never take a chance, and so my first 2.5 years, I think I just decided what I wanted. So that's one of them. Be positive in the preparation, understand where we're going to go if we decide to do something, if we decide to go for it, understand where we're going. Are we confident? If I hear a doubt of confidence on the head side, just say, okay, let's punt the ball or let's kick the field goal, whatever it may be. That organization wise, I think I'm better with this overall staff, not just the football staff, but the overall staff and importance of all what they do. I think I have a better grasp of NIL than I had before. And handling that better. There's a lot of stressors in our job. You've got them too. And trying to eliminate as much stress makes you make better decisions. And I feel really good. I feel good about where we're at. I feel good about the staff. And so I've learned a lot of things. I'm still going to make mistakes. In other words, you're going to make a decision that's going to turn out and not be the correct one. Have more patience than I used to have. I'm not as dictatorship as I used to be. I think I've learned it a little bit that way. Hope so.
Yeah, Sam, you brought up the 105 a minute ago. What's your overall take on that? It seems like, it's good. Obviously, more kids can get on scholarship, but if they're going to limit you to 105, you're losing, 15 players or whatever, or 15 roster spots. Just what's your overall take on that?
Well, I really don't like it, to be perfectly honest with you. Now, let me tell you this, Bob, that you're going to be able to chop up your scholarships, which now it's 85 fulls. You're going to be able to, reward some other guys. The problem is, are we going to go 85 and 20? Nobody in the SEC wants to lose the walk-on program. Nobody. I mean, hell, we got the Burlsworth Trophy. I mean, Nobody. And if you go down and look at the list of guys who have won that as starting out as walk-ons, you know, and have won that trophy, it's an incredible list of kids that, hell, we had one in Grant Morgan, you know. Imagine Grant didn't play at the University of Arkansas because we couldn't eventually help him, or we can't. Nowadays, every walk-on's probably going to get a little bit of money and something like that. Imagine he went D2 or whatever, like I did. We don't want to lose the walk-on program. And so as I understand it, we're not going to have to, but if the Big Ten or the Big 12 is going to 105 full scholarships, at what time is the SEC going to do the same thing? So I just don't think it's enough. Our number was 110. I felt like that was fair. You know, we can't go out and get another player during the season like the NFL can. And I know they start with a significant lower number than we do, but they also can go replace a guy. We wouldn't be able to do that. So I wish it was close. I wish it was 110. And I don't want to lose the walk-on status of our kids. I think it's important, especially in our state, to have walk-ons from your state on the team.
You brought another veteran guy in, and Anthony Switzer, one of the late guys
Yeah, I
too.
like
Where do
him.
you see him fitting in? Safety, nickel?
Good point. Right now, we've been in our OTAs and walks and things. We've put him and Larry Worth at 2 spots. We put him at the Willie, inside the box, linebacker, however you want to say it, depending on formation, Sam or Willie. We put him inside the box. And we've also put him out at the hog position as a nickel. Him and Larry both. So I think that's, Trey, to be honest with you, that's one of our biggest things, is to see where they're going to play for us and exactly how good they are. But to answer your question, I think Switz can play inside the box. I think he can play hog, and I think he can play boundary and field safety. So we've got to figure that out. And again, I'd like to figure that out to where we could have at least 2 full weeks of practicing in that one position. But I think we've got to figure out where he would fit. Is he one of our best 11? If he is, where is that fit? And we've got to give him and Larry and Stephen Dix, for that matter, all those guys that opportunity.
Return a lot of guys on the defensive interior. Plus Andrew Farr is expected to play a bigger role. What about Danny Salee? Am I saying that right? Salee? So
Saili.
Saili.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I found that out today too. I just called him Danny.
Is he gonna be able to help y'all?
Yes. I like the kid. You know, I think right now you're looking at least 5 guys there on the interior. And but I like Danny. He's got really good quickness, he's strong. Came in here, you know, it's, if your kids are in shape, you can find out how good they are. You can find out the real person. I don't know how much Danny's been in shape, but he is now. And so I really like him. He's got a low center of gravity. He's big. He's close to 400. I don't know what he is, 390, 380 something, and moves well. So I think he's going to be able to help us. And really on the outside, Trey, you're looking at, you know, Quincy Rhodes and June Codge, you know, other than Nico and Lana Jackson. So probably finding the 5th guy there is going to be major important to us as well.
I want to ask about your safety depth. You got the veterans, Clark and Johnson, but what's it looking like behind those?
Well, I think, you know, the name that pops up right off my mind is TJ Metcalf. Now, TJ ran 22 on his catapult, so he obviously was a lot faster than, you know, we got Miguel Mitchell, who we like, went in the portal to get him. And if you look at that and then you think about, I'm talking about other than JJ and HUD, if you look at that and then you go, okay, what about Switzer? You know, what's his capabilities there? What about Cuddy? Now, Cuddy is obviously a corner, and we were going to give him every chance to win a corner position. He also has a body that he could play safety too. I think if you look in totality of what we did in the portal, trying to get depth at the safety spot, that's where we didn't get near the numbers there. I think we got quality, but we didn't get near the numbers there that what we did in other positions. I think we're good there. I don't know that we're way past too deep.
And then the tight end spot, the growth you've seen from Has and the rest of that bunch.
Well, Gums sticks out in my mind right away. You know, Luke is 242 and looks good and doing well. Posca is a guy that's got to come on. We got to find out. You know, we liked him in the spring. We need to love him, and so that's another one. Having Ty Washington back is going to help us as well, I think. Obviously, you guys knew he played some good ball and then unfortunately got hurt. And so I think those four guys are going to put a good group together, and then we'll wait and see where Shamar and them guys end up.
You mentioned Ty Washington there. I guess he's back. Just how are you health wise? I think Jaden Allen maybe had something. Just how are you health
Yeah,
wise?
there's three guys here. Justin Logan has the shoulder. Jaden Allen's got a knee, cartilage repair, and who was the other fella? Who? Yeah, Zuri Madison had his ACL. So those guys probably will not play this year. Other than that, Juju Pope got a hamstring that'll probably limit him for the first week and a half. And I think that's about it.
And I noticed you have a fullback on your roster now, Kyle Thompson,
Yeah.
moved him over there. You've got a 250-pound running back and Braylon Russell. Then also you got Andreas at tight end, 260. I mean, what do those guys maybe bring to the offense? Does it give you more flexibility to do stuff with, some bigger bodies like that?
I think so. I mean, I think if you look at our offense, we're trying to be we're trying to get back to that physicality and that size, and I think JJ, I think Jaquindon is perfect for what we're trying to do. And then if you look at him and Hill and Reed and Braylon, they're all a little bit different. And of course, R-Dub. So I like where we're at there, but I think we just try to get bigger so we can run the football.
Coach, appreciate you.
That's it. Go Hawg.